also want to talk a bit about Gareth Southgate. I've never been his biggest fan, but even I can't knock what he's doing now, right? So there are little things he does. You go, Phillips, for argument's sake, starting, he's not getting too much football. And then, of course, joked on yesterday's show that I bet on 65 he comes off Henderson, and I think on 68 it happened. So I was like 3 minutes off. But maybe he's a little bit predictable. But other than that, when he took over the role in 2018, we were 12th in the FIFA World Rankings. Now we're 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some achievement. And that means only Argentina, France and Brazil are ranked higher than England.
Yeah.
I think he's done... Listen, any manager that comes in, they'll always make a couple of little changes and decisions where the fan goes, what's he done that for? All managers do that. His thing is the Maguire thing, which I'm over now.
And the Phillips.
Right? And the Phillips Henderson thing. That's it.
Yeah.
But, Phil Foden last night was just exceptional.
Yeah.
You got players like Maddison. I mean, I know he didn't feature, but you got players like Maddison, who's unbelievable. Foden, I'm a big fan of. Saka was injured, so even he's not there. And you get Rashford, who scores an unbelievable goal. I think the passing part of his game needs to improve a bit. But
100%.
still, he scored that unbelievable goal, thanks to Bellingham's pass, by the way, and run to take defenders away.
Of course.
But that whole team, apart from the one or two, I think they all look fantastic.
They do. And I do think, and that's why it will be a travesty, if we don't win something with this crop of players, I think a lot of blame will be labelled at Gareth Southgate, because this is a special group of players we've got here at the minute. And if we don't take full advantage of it, then I think questions will be asked.
You can ask the questions by picking up the phone 03717223344. We'll talk about Bellingham and Kane. Are they the best number 9 and 10 in world football? And also Gareth Southgate. Do you trust him? Do you believe him now? Well, Andy's up next. Hello, Andy. How are you?
How doing, guys? You're all right. Great show.
Thank you, man. Before we start with football chat, have you got any advice about how I can get rid of foxes in my garden?
You said humanely, so no, I haven't, unfortunately.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, I take that on board, Andy. Go on then. What do you want to say about England?
I said to your producer before, anyone that dislikes Southgate, I don't really understand it. When you look at what Allardyce did in that short period, when you look at what Hodgson did before that, going out to Iceland, how can you not accept and appreciate what Southgate's doing now, getting to semis and finals?
When you say what Allardyce did in that short period, do you mean one game?
The whole of how he obviously what he did with that interview, completely, giving up his career with being the England manager. How on earth?
You mean about how
could you do that?
How Southgate conducts himself? You mean off the field?
Yeah, everything. Okay. He's a good manager. He does really well with England.
So, Andy, let me ask you a question, because I think the question is, a lot of people are thinking, you look at the squad of players that England have got, and they are a special bunch of players. Do you believe yourself that Gareth can get over the line with the squad of players and potentially win the next Euros or the next World Cup?
Somebody said last night on the show that how many golden generations have we had? And every time we have a tournament, she's a golden generation. And if we're going to base it on that, Southgate's got this golden generation further than other golden generations. Don't get me wrong, I'm not happy losing in finals or losing in semi-finals, but I'm much happier now losing to Italy and France than I was losing to Iceland.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Really good point.
Thanks, Andy, for your call. I know this is going to sound nuts, but I really fancy England for the Euros and the World Cup.
We say this all the time, don't we?
No, but I really do. I really do. And I know that there are better managers out there than Southgate, right, on paper, but I don't necessarily know if the better managers would get more out of, collectively, a team and a group of players, because they back their manager. They all back Southgate. They back each other.
Do you know what? I look at someone like an Ancelotti, though, and all the players look like they love playing for him. He's so chilled, and when you look at his tactical nous, what he's won in the game, and then his demeanour as well, which is just laid back.
I know, but
I think he could get him out.
But if you bring that in now, I don't know if you undo all the good work Southgate's done.
I'm not saying bringing him in now, but what I'm saying is I look at Ancelotti and I don't see fire and brimstone. Okay. I see laid back, chill, let them go and play.
Let me ask you this. If irrelevant of how we do in the Euros, let's say we get to the latter stages, semis or final, right? Would you rather then, after that, in the build-up to the World Cup, get rid of Southgate and start again?
If we don't win it?
Yeah.
So he'd have had, what, this would be his 4th major tournament?
Yeah.
I'd probably go elsewhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Josh is up next, an Everton fan. Hi, Josh.
You all right, Andy? All right, Benty? How's it going,
How you doing, boss? You all right?
Yeah, Sean, I've just got a couple of quick points and then a question for Benty at the end. So I personally enjoy the internationals. This is a lot down to my involvement in the women's game, because in the women's game, the Lionesses are the spearhead for the sport, whereas in the men's game, I think it's more like the Premier League these days, like the club versus country row. So my question for Benty, just off the back of the Southgate discussion then, if say, you were in the squad now playing for England, who would you rather work under? Would you rather work under a homegrown manager like Southgate, or would you prefer someone like left field, like sort of an established manager to come in and sort of show you a different way of playing.
What I will say about Gareth Southgate, I believe, in some respects, I do feel there is a pathway to getting game time. I know he's got his favourites, and it's incredibly difficult to move some of them favourites. But what I will say is, if you look at across the board, the amount of caps he's probably handed out, I think you're closer probably to get, rather than the previous managers going, right, these are my 15, and I'll see what else comes in after that. To be fair to Gareth Southgate, he has handed out caps across the board. So I probably would have liked playing for Gareth Southgate. But listen, right now I'd be in the exact same situation as Watkins, Tony, Callum Wilson behind Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean? So you're effectively fighting for two and the second spot and the third spot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But would you rather play under a Southgate or a Carlo Ancelotti?
I mean, it's hard to kind of Ancelotti. These are talk about superstars, man.
Yeah, but the fact we're having that conversation, it's a nice conversation. If your answer was Ancelotti every day of the week, then that's a problem. But the fact that we're thinking,
because look, as you said, look at the feel good factor around this.
I think that counts for so much.
A lot.
I really do.
talkSPORT Drive, super opinionated sporting debate, Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.